Hello, hello. It is time for an unhaul. I have so many books here I can't be at my desk. I have to be sitting on the ground uh, instead because I just have too many. I have so many that my clown nesting doll had to sit in, nestled in between Bartholomew's legs rather than where it should be, which is in front of my clown painting. I have a clown corner. It's a thing. But yeah, so books I'm unhauling. These are either going to my classroom, to my mother's classroom. I teach elementary. She teaches high school, so difference in age range, or I'm selling them on eBay, depending, on the title, content, whatever. So let's get going. First up, I'm getting rid of Boy Toy by Barry Laga. So when we're talking about my unhauls, I don't get rid of books just because I hated them. A lot of these books I did enjoy. This is one of them. But I just have a lot of books. So it's like, unless I love it, and even sometimes if I love it, if I think it would be better served elsewhere, I get rid of it. I can only get rid of books after I've read them, but once I've read them, it's really free game. I enjoyed this one. I thought it was good. It was really intense. This is, Tampa from the male perspective. So there's that, but I don't need it. I'm getting rid of The Headless Ghost. This is simply a case of me having more than one copy. So I don't need more than one copy. And this was the one that was in worse condition. The Silent Scream by Diane Ho. Very fun. But it's, crappy little 90s teen horror paperback, and I don't really need to keep those. Runaway. So bad. So bad. Runin Rising. So this was decent. It was good. But I'm not, I don't have the first two books in the series anymore. I have now finished the Grisha trilogy, which is great. I read 60 Crows before I finished this, but I don't think it really impacted my feelings on either of the books at any point. So got that. The Wolfen by Whitley Strieber. Better than I thought it would be. Turns out that when a guy is absolutely nuts and writes an absolutely nuts books about UFOs and his own abduction experiences, turns out that his horror novel is going to be super fun because you know where nuts stuff works in horror novels. So that was fun. The Sky's Everywhere by Jandy Nelson. Absolutely the worst, just the most annoying main character I've ever seen in my entire life. Just terrible. Why did they make this a movie? I still don't know. It wasn't like a terrible book or anything. What did I give it? I gave it 4.5 stars, but the main character, terrible. She was terrible. Call Down the Hawk by Maggie Stiefvater was a decent time. I liked The Raven Cycle more than I liked this one, but it was okay. Band Fags. The only reason I kept this for as long as I did is because I know I'm going to have to sell this on eBay because I cannot give a book to a school that has the word fags in the title, so goodbye. Orbiting Jupiter by Gary D. Schmidt. This is one of those ones where it's like I have to make sure that I just think it would be better served elsewhere. The only Gary D. Schmidt book that I'm really keeping is Okay for Now. That's just because that's just because I love Okay for Now so much. Speaking of the Wednesday Wars, don't need to keep it around. The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. This copy is falling apart. This is a great novel, but it's falling apart. Weekend by Christopher Pike. This was wild. I'm not gonna lie. This was on the wild end of Christopher Pike stuff, and I like it more when he's wild versus spiritual. And he did have some spiritual stuff in here too, but it was more along the lines of like Whisper of Death than Remember Me, which I like more. So, I like Whisper of Death more. This was super fun. The only Christopher Pike books I'm keeping. I've got the Chain Letter books, I have Monster, and I have Whisper of Death, and everything else I'm like, wait, don't need it. 13 Little Blue Envelopes. Speaking of weird main characters, and also where are this girl's parents? I still don't know. All the Fighting Parts. Fantastic. Really amazing book. Could be better served elsewhere than on my 26-year-old's bookshelves in my office. So, The Hay Meadow by Gary Paulson. I just don't vibe with Gary Paulson. I just don't. Lost It by Kristen Tracy. I got nothing to say. It was fine. I read it. It's done. Anne Happy, Volume 7. I don't know what's going on here. Sun and Moon, Ice and Snow by Jessica Day George. This is very middle of the road YA. It very much is a product of its time, and it's not bad by any means. It's just very, very, very middle of the road. All Heads Turn When the Hunt Goes By had some really great parts to it. Overall, just kind of, you know, it dragged. Is probably the best way of saying it. Bitter Rivals. I don't think I have to say anything else. Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. I just don't have room for this man's books on my shelves, and like I like them, but not that much, you know. So I don't. And also, I mean, they're relatively fast-paced, fun thrillers. So they do good. And the other one that I've read by him actually circulated a lot in the high school library. Magnus Chase, the first 2 books. Here's the thing about these ones also. It's like, oh, and this one too. So Rick Riordan also takes up a lot of room on my shelf, and I don't really think I need to keep him around. I just don't think I do. I went down to being like, oh, well, maybe just the hardcovers. But also I'm running out of room, so I need to be more, you know, picky again. Saint Iggy was a good book. It's like Punkzilla, but like a little bit less intense, which I know is a lot because this one does deal with some harsh stuff, but I actually thought this was a children's book because the only other books I've read by Cale Going have been children's books. And then in like the first chapter, he called his teacher a bitch, and I was like, oh, not a children's book. So, The Dead Lifeguard. Lots going on here. So much. Good time. And First and Then by Emma Mills, which is a beautiful, adorable little love story. I'm just like, Emma Mills she's just a great young adult contemporary writer. But yeah, that right there, that's my unhaul. Now I have space for my clown nesting dolls to, you know, be where they need to be and not be, you know, bothering Bartholomew. It's a whole clown thing, you know. This is where it started, and if you know, I'm sorry. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. I will hopefully, you know, read more books. We have more books on haul soon. But yeah, time to go put these into boxes, mark up what I think should be in the library, all that fun stuff. And I'll talk to you guys later.